anytime and ask questions. And that's, we're online, but we still have this interaction that is, pretty neat. So, all
Yeah, it is. It's true.
right. So how are your knees? Are you okay sitting in Thunderbolt or Vajrasana?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd like to do that, sitting
Okay.
on, even taking a moment to maybe stretch out the toes, because the foundation of our body doesn't always get the attention it needs.
Okay.
So if you're on your toes, we'll just take a couple breaths there, and then if at any time it starts to get painful, just untuck the toes and sit on the heels. Okay. So if you could just put one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, we'll come together with some breathing. And I've kind of been focusing on our classes this weekend about gratitude. And so I wanted to bring that to the forefront of the mind. Just finding one thing, whatever it is, that brings you gratitude. And then beginning to breathe into the belly and the chest. Full deep breaths. Filling the lungs completely. And then exhaling completely. And so now with the thing that you have that you're thinking about that brings you gratitude, I want you to bring your awareness and your focus onto not necessarily the person or thing that you're thinking of, but the feeling that comes with that gratitude and love. And kind of focus on that exact feeling as you breathe. And we're going to kind of thread that through the whole practice this morning. We'll take a few more breaths here. And then if your eyes are closed, go ahead and blink the eyes open. We'll release the hands and come into Sukhasana or easy pose. So whatever leg you normally have on the bottom, I want you to switch it. Do something that feels a little bit uncomfortable and different. And it will feel awkward, but that's okay. And we'll bring the right hand to the ground and inhale the left arm up. Exhale, lean to the right, opening the left side of the body. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bring that hand down. Other side, right hand up, inhale. Exhale, lean to the left, bend the left elbow. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, bring that hand down. We'll do a simple twist. So right fingertips behind you, left hand to the right knee. Always inhale and lengthen first. So inhale, lengthen, get tall through the crown of the head. And then exhale, rotate so the right shoulder is pressing back. Almost like your spine is a spiral staircase. The most rotation happening at the top, the thoracic part of the spine. We'll take one more breath here. And then exhale, come back to center. Left fingertips behind you to do the other side. Right hand to the left knee. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head first. And then exhale, come into your twist. Even noticing, your mobility from one side to the other, which side you might have more mobility in. You can keep your chin over the heart or look over the left shoulder if you'd like. And then exhale, come back to center. We're going to come to hands and knees. So if you need a blanket under the knees, go ahead and do that. I don't know if you're working on hardwood floor or if you are on carpet.
Yeah, it's a floor, but I have a mat and lots of blankets.
Okay, good. So be sure that your hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart. You can even have the hands a little bit in front of you to protect the wrists, but we want to have the wrists parallel to the front of the mat to work on our foundation for the hands with the bearing weight on the wrists. That'll make sure that the shoulders are working and the joints, like the elbows and the wrists, are not taking all the weight. So we'll do our Betalasana. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the spine to the front of the body, and lift the head, lift the gaze. And then exhale, begin with the tailbone to round the spine, arch the back, drop the head. And then continue with the pace of your breath. And as you are dipping forward, really release the muscles in the lower back. And as you exhale and arch, press the tops of the feet and the hands into the mat and really completely drop the head. We'll continue with this pace. You can even put a little bit of your own movement into it if you want to move the shoulders and the hips a little bit. The mobility in the spine is really what we're looking for, so we can load the dishwasher and not hurt our backs. I'd rather be able to do that than touch my toes any day. Let's go ahead and do 2 more rounds. And then return to a neutral spine. And we're going to do a little bit of a balance here with our bird dog balance. So first extend the right leg out behind you. And even with the toes curled under, you can shift the weight back a little bit to feel that stretch in the calf muscle. And then shift back to center. We're going to lift the left arm out in front of us, staring straight down at the mat. Our bicep is lined up with the left ear, left bicep to left ear. And then if you feel comfortable here, engage the lower belly in and up and lift the back leg. So the toes of the lifted leg are pointed straight down. We'll take a few breaths here. Lifting with the inner thigh. Straight arm shooting out through the fingertips and out through the heel, those opposite directions. And then exhale, bring the hand and the knee back down. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So first extend the left leg back and shift your weight back to stretch the calf muscle. And then shift back to center. Extend the right arm out in front of you. So the inner arm is lined up with the ear. Lift the back leg from the inner thigh. And be sure you're not dipping in the lower back. So really protect the lower back by engaging the transverse abdominis, which feels like they're the deep abdominal muscles. Keep the neck long, looking straight down at the mat. Take 1 more breath. And then exhale, bring the hand and the knee back down. We'll just take a minute to stretch the wrists. So bring the top of your hand on the mat. I don't know, are you doing any work from home right now? Are you on the computer a lot?
A little bit, yeah.
So this should feel pretty good. The more weight you shift back, the more of a stretch you'll get in the forearm and the wrist. And then just shake it out a little bit. We'll do the other side. So top of the left hand, place it on the mat. The fingers are going to be pointing towards your knee. Just move it around a little to see where you get the best stretch. And then go ahead and release and shake it a little bit. We're going to thread the needle to open up the shoulders. So bring the right hand to the center of the mat. And then we're going to inhale and bring the left arm all the way up. for a counter stretch. And as you exhale, bring it underneath the right arm, slide the fingertips through. If you can get your head down to the mat, that's good. Otherwise, you could put your head on a block. And the more you keep your right hand at a, pressing in the mat at a 90-degree angle, the more of a stretch more you'll get into the twist. How is your flexibility here? Do you feel the twist, or do you feel a stretch in the shoulder socket of the left arm?
My right arm feels a little, forearm feels a stretch.
Okay, well that's where you need it then, I guess, yeah. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, come back to center. We'll do the same thing with the other side. So left palm to the center of the mat, right arm inhale up, exhale, slide it under. Reach the right fingertips through as far as you can, head resting on the floor, and then find your breath here. And feel the stretch coming from the shoulder socket. Just bring your awareness there. Even keeping the eyes closed still if you'd like, to bring your focus inward. Take one more breath. And then exhale, come back to center. We're going to widen the knees, bring the big toes together, and sit back into child's pose or balasana. Walk the hands forward. Is your forehead able to reach the mat here?
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and let the head rest on the mat. You can even roll the forehead back and forth a little bit, rock the body a little bit back and forth, feeling the stretch in the ankles, the hips, the knees, the arms. And begin to come into that place of surrender. And even bringing back that gratitude feeling that we were focusing on in the beginning. On your next exhalation, you're going to lift the head, walk the hands towards the body just a little bit, and then we're going to walk the hands to the right, just going as far as you can until you feel the stretch in the lower quadrants of the back. So the left side, you'll be feeling the stretch, and then just soften towards the floor. You don't have to go all the way to the floor, just soften towards the floor. Breathe into the left side of the body. And then inhale, come up. Walk the hands very slowly to the left side. Go as far as your body will let you go. Soften towards the floor. Find your breath here, breathing into the right side of the body now. And in the lower quadrants of the back, the place that's sometimes hard to reach for a stretch. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, walk your hands back to center. We're going to come back to hands and knees, so you can bring the knees back together. Come to hands and knees, and we're going to come up into our first downward facing dog. So take the hands one palm length forward, shoulder width apart, or a little bit wider than the shoulders, depending on how tight the shoulders are. Curl the toes under and lift the hip sockets up and back towards the ceiling. Keep the knees as bent as you need to here. And then just start pedaling out your feet, you know, walking the dog, as they say. Move your hips around. Do what feels good here. And take the weight out of the wrists and be sure that you're pressing the roots or the knuckles, you know, the other side of the knuckles into the mat. Take one more breath here and then slow down your walking. Come to stillness. We'll bring the right leg up just for a moment. And then bring the right leg to towards the front of the mat. So if you have to come to your knee first to do that, that's okay. Are you able to bring your right leg forward?
Yeah, I'm gonna use blocks.
Okay. Use your blocks here. You can bring the left knee to the ground first. Having a block on either side of the foot. We're just going to stay here for a moment. Shoulders away from the ears. I'll use this block here. So shoulders away from the ears. Soften the left hip flexor towards the mat as you can. Still spreading the collarbones and lifting the chest. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to exhale. Bring one of your blocks with you. We're going to exhale and shift our weight to sit back on the heel. And put your block underneath your right buttocks. So it's kind of like a seat. Let's see. Is your strap nearby also?
I can get it easily.
Now I have you in this position.
That's okay. I can get back to it.
Got that?
I'll just go through it again.
Okay. So coming from lunge, shifting the weight back.
Yep, I'm here now.
Okay, perfect. So just go ahead and take the strap and put it around the ball of the right foot. We're going to hold the strap, one in each hand, arms straight. Inhale, lengthen. We'll stay here for a breath or two. Shoulders, it's like we're squeezing that orange in between the shoulder blades. We're still engaging the lower belly in and up. And then your next exhalation, see if you can keep the length in the spine and just shift forward. Just go as far as your hamstring will let you, even if that's just an inch or so. You can even soften the elbows a little bit. We'll take two more deep, slow breaths here.
This is a good one.
Yeah, isn't it? It goes a little bit deeper and you have that height, so you might be far, but it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Go ahead and release it. Just put your strap on the other side for now. Use your hands to support you to remove the block. Bring that back to the front of the mat. And then just press your hands to shift your weight back forward, coming back into that lunge position.
Mm-hmm.
Curl the back toes under. See if you can lift the leg. Are you able to return to downward facing dog from here?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you have to come to both, then that works too. However you have to do it is fine. And then kind of just walk that out. We're going to bend the right knee and do just big circles with the hip socket. So bend the knee and draw big circles with the knee.
Taking your foot off the ground.
Yep, just big round circles with the knee.
Yep.
Do one direction and a few in the other. And then return back to down dog. We'll do everything on the other side now. So left leg up. And then come to your right knee first. Grab your blocks. I'm sure they're still at the front of your mat. And bring that left foot forward. Soften the hips forward. Find that length in the spine, shoulders back. The neck is just an extension of the spine. So we don't want, we don't want to be looking down. We don't want to be looking up. We just want the neck to be neutral along with the spine. Let's take another breath here. And then exhale, start to shift the weight back. Bring your block with you. Put it underneath your left buttocks. We'll grab the strap, put it around the ball of the left foot. So, the knees do not have to be touching here as long as the upper leg bones, the femur bones are parallel and pointing in the same direction. That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
Grab a strap in each hand. Inhale, lengthen. Gather the lower belly in and up. Inner edges of the shoulder blades towards each other. And we're going to take a breath or two here, just finding that length. Keep the left foot flexed, toes pointing up. And then next exhalation, begin to hinge forward from the hip crease, where the leg and the hip meet. Even if you don't go far, find where you're at, knocking on the door of the stretch, not busting it down, of course. And wherever it is that you're tight, which will most likely be one of the hamstring muscles, see if you can bring your breath there to release that gripping. One more deep breath. Exhale completely. And then release the pose. Put the strap off to the side. We will use that again in a little bit. Support yourself with your hands to lift, remove the block, and then shift your weight forward. Coming back into that lunge position. So you can curl the right toes under, lift the back knee, and come back into downward facing dog. So extend through the tailbone or lengthen through the tailbone, and then lift the left leg, bend the knee, and draw big circles with the knee. Just rotating the ball and socket joint after doing that work. And then returning back to your down dog when you're finished. We're gonna walk the feet towards the hands, but we're not gonna get up yet. So just slowly walk the feet towards the hands. We're gonna get up slowly since our head has been down for a little bit here. So first, bring your hands to the shins. Lengthen through the crown of the head. So flat back here, lift the sitting bones. Knees can still be bent if that helps you, keep the inner edges of the shoulder blades towards each other. And then we're gonna bring the hands to the thighs. Keep the elbows back, shoulders back. Knees slightly bent. We're gonna inhale, bring the arms all the way up. And then exhale, hands in front of the heart. Come to Tadasana, releasing the hands. How are you with your sun salutations and chaturangas?
Pretty good. Chaturangas are a little slow, but I'm working on being able to do them.
Yeah, they're pretty difficult to do.
Yeah.
Completely okay. All right, so we're gonna do a couple of sun salutations, but you can use your knees as well. So I'll cue you to use your knees for that. All right, so inner edges of the feet are parallel. Tadasana always seems like such an easy posture, but this is actually how I healed most of my back pain, is just learning how to stand and walk again.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I can relate to that.
My teeth are pumping gas. I am in Tadasana, legs and spine. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift or look up. So you can have your hands on the shins or the thighs. Exhale, step back to plank, either regular plank or on your knees. Just be sure that the shoulders are above the wrists here. Next exhalation, you're gonna chaturanga down, so elbows pointing straight back, kissing the sides of the body, evenly lower yourself. We're gonna inhale here into just a cobra. So separate the feet, tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. Hands are at the lower ribs. Elbows are squeezing the sides of the body or hugging the sides of the body. Inhale, lift into a cobra. So elbows are bent, the pubic bone is pressing into the mat, the back of the legs are completely engaged. Curl the toes under. Exhale, either come into child's pose or downward facing dog. We're gonna stay here for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look at the front of your mat and get to the front of your mat. Keeping that length, your next exhalation, fold. Press all 4 corners of both feet. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up, nice and slow. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Back to Tadasana. We're gonna do that one more time, but add some cobras into that. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. So knees bent, keep the back flat, nice. Give it an opportunity to get strong. Inhale, look up or halfway lift. Exhale, step both feet back into plank, using your knees or not. Navel to spine. Next, exhale, chaturanga down, elbows straight back. Uncurl the toes, hands to the lower ribs. We're gonna start off by doing our baby cobra again. So inhale, lift. Imagine space between each vertebra as you lengthen out out of the pelvis. And then exhale, lower. We're gonna move the hands to the edges of the mat. And then inhale, lift for cobra again. So lift. Take a breath or two here. Legs are super strong. Exhale, lower. And then now bring your fingertips to the outsides of the mat. So off the mat. Inhale, lift. Take 2 breaths here. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, lower. Bring your hands back to the lower ribs. Inhale, come to hands and knees. Exhale into your downward facing dog for 5 breaths. Or child's pose. 1, 2. Straight arms, lengthening through the tailbone. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look at the front of your mat and get to the front of your mat. Nice flat back. Next exhalation, fold. Knees slightly bent, raise the sitting bones. Inhale, nice flat back coming up. Palms together, exhale, hands in front of the heart. Back to Tadasana. Good. And now I'm gonna face you this way so you can see me. Grab your block. So you have your block handy so we can do our triangle posture. So we're gonna separate the feet. It doesn't have to be a super wide stance, but I'm sure you're familiar with your stance for triangle already.
Turn this way.
From the right hip socket, we're going to turn the right toes out 90 degrees. And then the back toes have to be rotated in just a little. So bring the toes in just a little bit. We're going to take the right fingers and find that hip crease of the right leg. And we're going to actually just kind of deepen that. We're going to push it, push on it. Our left hip will come out. The back of our right leg will start to lengthen. And then extend the right arm. So keep your legs. Now we're lengthening the top half of the body. Bring your right hand down to the block, which is going to be on the outside of the leg, either by the ankle, depending on your anatomy, the ankle or the shin. And then rotate the shoulder girdle open. Stack the shoulders, left fingertips up. Now, let me come look at you a minute because you might not even use a block for triangle.
No, I need to use a block.
Okay.
You want me to move the camera?
Nope, you're perfectly fine. So find your breath here. Both of the quadriceps are engaged and externally rotating out. Press the feet. Soften the top ribs. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Take one more breath here. Good. It looks great. As you exhale, you're going to bend the right knee. We're going to come into side angle here. So bring the top of the right forearm on top of the right leg. And then left arm is just going to come up and over to the bicep. So here, my hip is jetted out. I need to soften, and I need to widen my stance a little bit so my knee is not going over my ankle. And then rotate the shoulders back open so the chest is lifted. We'll take 3 good breaths here. Good. And then push out of that right shoulder. Find your breath. Next exhalation, press the feet into the mat and pop yourself up to a standing position. Good. Bring the right toes in. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So left toes out. Bring your block to the other side first. So left toes out. The right heel will drop back to about a 45-degree angle. Deepen the left hip crease. Just use your fingers to kind of guide that lengthening of the leg. Knee is going to stay straight. And just take a look at your knee really quick too. Just, I know you, is this the side where you have the hip replacement?
No, it's the other one.
Okay, so I'm not sure, how your knee is on this side, but typically it's going to be facing in. And
yeah, a little bit.
What I want you to do is to micro bend the knee just a little bit and really engage the quadricep muscles as much as you can until that knee is over the second and third toe, and then straighten the leg again and try to keep that length. So it's going to be extra muscular movement.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, so just try to keep it as long as you can. Extend the left arm. Bring it down to the block. Rotate the shoulders open, right fingertips up. Find your breath here. You can be looking down at the floor. You can look up, whatever's good for your neck here. Continue to deepen the left hip crease. Soften the top ribs. Extend through the crown of the head. Lower belly is still engaged in and up. Take one more breath here. Exhale, bend the left knee. Bring the left forearm on top of the leg, and then right arm up and over. Drop the back heel just a little bit. And then so if your chest rotated down towards the floor, just open it back up and find your breath here. Good. One more breath. Press the feet and pop yourself back to a standing position. Bring the left toes in and walk the feet back together carefully. Good. Shake the legs out a little bit. And grab your strap. I want to do a little bit of, we'll do, an arm stretch here. So if you grab the strap with the right hand, you're going to bring your arm directly up next to the right ear. And then just bend at the elbow. The left hand is going to have the thumb pointing down. And then you're just going to reach behind and grab the strap. Just grab it as close as you can to the hand. I mean, for some people, they can grab the fingertips and grab. But if you can't do that, that's why we're using the strap.
Yeah, my shoulders are super tight, so I can never do that. But I'll work. Yeah.
Just lift the chest. Chin is parallel to the floor. Find your breath here. We're still in Tadasana legs, so toes are straight, legs are active. Take one more breath. And then your next exhalation, release the left hand. Right arm goes straight up. And just no fancy way of just grab the strap with the left hand and then bend at the elbow. This is just so we can keep the shoulder grounded and we're stretching it in the right places. So bend the left elbow, right thumb down so we can internally rotate and reach behind us. Grab onto the strap. And begin to stretch the left shoulder and arm. Recheck your foundation, engage the Mula Bandha, the lower belly in and up. I assume you're familiar with Mula Bandha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chin parallel to the floor, spread the collarbones. And then next exhalation, go ahead and release. You can put your strap off to the side. We're also going to do just a gentle neck stretch. So grab the opposite elbows behind you. Nothing is going to move except for the neck and shoulders. So the rest of the body just stays in Tadasana. Look over the right shoulder and then bring the chin to the chest. Roll it across the chest until you're looking over the left shoulder. You might get some crunching and cracking through this, which is completely normal. And if there's a spot that you really want to pay attention to, just stop and give it a little bit of a roll back and forth. We'll just continue going across. We'll do it 2 more times. And then bring the head back to center. Good. Release the arms. We'll do our Vrikshasana or tree pose. So if you need support with the wall or dresser or whatever, we'll try it in the middle of the room first. How are you typically with your balancing postures?
So, and better when I'm using my left leg.
Okay, I bet, yeah. Well, we're going to do tree, and your lifted knee doesn't even need to leave the ground if you don't want it to. So
yeah, no, I can do it. I like trying to do it.
Let's shift our weight to the left leg then, and then lift the right heel. Everything is coming in and up. So lift the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha, in and up to the crown of the head. Wherever you are with your right leg, just have your focus point, find your balance, use your breath. If your leg is going all the way up, be sure that you are able to lift the knee above the hips first. Doesn't matter how far out the knee goes, it just matters that the pelvis is straight and opening. You can just keep your hands right in front of the heart today and find your breath wherever your leg is. Which, I mean, most days, and this is my side that's been very off balance lately, so my heel will stay here. We'll take another breath here. And then go ahead and bring the knee pointing straight. Extend the leg and come back to Tadasana. We'll do it with the other side. And if there's a side, so you said which leg are you?
This one will be harder. I can't get my leg all the way up. Yeah.
Okay. Then we probably don't want to add any extra arm movement.
Yeah, no, probably not.
And just find your treat on this, wherever it is. And if the right hip is jetting out, be sure to push it in and up.
Yeah. That's the hard part.
Yeah, that's always the tendency, naturally anyhow. Find your breath. Staring at that spot on the floor for your focus point, your drishti. One more breath. Bring the knee in, straighten the leg, and come back to Tadasana. I'd like to do Warrior One, and then we'll bring it back down to the ground. Okay? So in Tadasana, I'm going to face you this way. Bring the right leg back. And of course, the center line for this will be more heel to heel, or the right leg might need to come out a little bit, more railroad tracks, depending on, like for your hips. Just having wider hips as a woman, that happens. Go ahead and make sure that the torso is facing the front of the mat. Bend the front knee. And so here we come into, at least for me, I don't know if you can see the issue of the hyperlordosis in the lower back, because I have a psoas muscle. So I have to really focus on engaging that Mula Bandha and dropping the sacrum. So it's not tucking of the tailbone, it's just a release of the tailbone. Okay? And then bring the arms up. Bring the pinkies together, bring the thumbs together. We're gonna come into a lotus mudra here. So just looking like the shape of a lotus flower. And look up at the mudra. And come back to that gratitude feeling, as if that feeling is filling your cup right now. Pressing the outer edge of the back foot, the inner edge of the front foot. Take one more breath. And then exhale, bring your mudra to your heart. Straighten the front leg, and then we'll come back to Tadasana to do the other side. Left leg back. Find your foundation here, hips forward, bend into the front knee, right knee. I'm gonna come look at yours on this side.
Yeah, I'm not sure when you're talking about this, where I'm at there.
Okay, I think actually you're pretty good. Do you know what problems you have with your lower back?
Not really, just that if I grip with it suddenly or in a turning motion, then it seems to seize up and then I have back pain for a while.
Okay. Okay, so definitely engaging the
core.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The transverse abdominis, the deep muscles in the belly. How do you feel about that engagement? Are you comfortable with what it is?
Right now or in general?
In general.
Yeah, I could work it more.
Okay. Okay, good.
But I can feel it. I know how to engage it. I mean, I have some strength there, but not probably as much as would be good.
Okay. Even imagining lifting the navel a little bit will help. Yeah. Okay, good. Go ahead and bring your pinkies together, your thumbs together, and then kind of make a cup with your hands for your mudra.
Oh, it's like this. I see.
Yeah. So looking up at your thumbs and kind of imagining that gratitude feeling whatever it is that you brought into your practice in the beginning. And filling up that way. Pressing the outer edge of the back foot.
This is much more challenging than it looks. I mean, I can feel all my muscles engaged.
Good. Yeah, especially the quadriceps and the front leg for sure.
Yeah.
Next, go ahead.
And the back leg, I'm just, yeah.
Well, it's easy to let the back leg get out of doing the work in this pose for sure. Bring your mudra to your heart. And then go ahead and straighten the front leg. And then bring yourself back to Tadasana. Okay. All right. How do you feel about squatting?
It's a little bit, I'm not great at it, but.
Your hip probably prohibits you from even coming down onto a block.
No, I can do it down onto a block, just barely.
Okay, let's just try it. We'll try it. Even stacking both your blocks is completely good. The feet with the toes pointing out. And then inhale, bring the arms up. Palms together, exhale, just start to come down, dropping the sitting bones, dropping the tailbone, and coming onto your blocks. Just releasing the lower back for a moment. Have the elbows on the insides of your legs, palms together. Does this feel okay?
Yeah, it's pretty easy with the 2 blocks, so next time I might try 1.
Okay. So you can bring your hands to the ground to just support yourself to lift and either remove one block or both blocks. We are going to come to a seated position, but if you want to try the one block real quick just to see how it is.
Yeah. It's a little challenging, but there's more release, I can tell.
Yeah. Take a couple here then.
Yeah.
Why the squatting cultures don't have back problems.
Yeah.
I try to keep a block in my living room and sit on that instead of the couch as much as possible. All right, let's go ahead and remove it. So shift your weight forward again, remove the block, and then just use your hands to support you to come back to a seated position. We're going to bring the legs out in front of us in Dandasana. So moving the skin away from the sitting bones just to get nice and grounded, and then bring the big toes together, flex the feet. And that engagement of the legs where it feels like you're ripping the mat apart with your legs. We're going to place the hands either on either side of the body to help keep the length. If you're able to keep the length in the spine and also put your hands on top of the thighs, then go ahead and do that. And we're going to spend just a couple of breaths here before we lie down. Take one more breath, engaging all of the muscles in the legs, keeping the back, probably shaking a little bit. And go ahead and release. And I lied, so before we go on to our backs, let's do Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of the feet together, kind of open up the inner legs for a moment. So grab onto the ankles to bring the heels close to the body. And then inhale, lengthen. We are going to round the back here. As you exhale, just completely round the back, drop the head, and use the elbows to press the knees open. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Still engaging the lower belly in and up. And then inhale, come all the way up. Use your hands to safely bring the knees back together. And then we'll lie down on our backs. Bring your strap with you. I want to do one more thing with the hamstrings. our Supta Hasta Paramukshasana, hand to big toe, but lying down on our backs. So the left leg will be straight. And then we're gonna put the strap around the ball of the right foot. Grab both straps with the right hand and straighten the right leg right up the center line. And then the left hand will, we'll just place that on our left thigh. And the left leg the whole time will be active. So just keeping the right arm straight. Do you feel a stretch in the right hamstrings?
Yes.
Okay, good. We'll just take another breath here. I'm not sure if your leg will rotate out to the side, but just do.
I can do that, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, we'll take one more breath here. And then exhale, keep the left hip glued to the mat. Start to open up to the right. The left hip will lift a little bit, which is okay, but keep the left leg strong. We'll just be here for a breath. And then try to use the muscles of the inner leg to bring the leg back to center. Switch hands. So now the left hand is going to grab both straps. The right arm is going to go out to the side. And you're going to cross over that center line just a little bit. The left toes are still pointing straight up. So getting into that TSL muscle and the IT band on the outside of the leg. Maybe not.
Yeah, I feel it.
Okay, good. And then come back to center. We're going to do something for the core right now. Or I should say toning of the abdominal wall. Grab a strap in both hands. We're going to lift the shoulders and heads off the mat on our exhale. So take a deep breath in. Exhale and lift. Pull the straps so your elbows go east and west, and the direction is chin to shin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower the head and shoulders and let the leg float down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. How was that lift?
Challenging.
Yeah. Did you feel it?
I could feel it, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, same thing on the other side. So grab the straps with the left hand, right hand stays on the thigh. I'm going to keep the left arm straight. Bring that leg right up the center line of the body. Relax the tongue, the throat, the shoulders. The right leg the toes are pointing straight up, active. Next exhalation, open the leg out to the left. So left leg out to the left. Right hip stays glued to the mat. Nice and slow, mindful, controlled movement. Use the adductors or the inner leg muscles to bring that leg back to center. And then switch hands. Right hand grabs the straps. Left arm out to the side. Cross over the center line just a little bit. Recheck to make sure the right leg is active still. If you're feeling, do you feel anything behind the knees right now? Behind the knee?
I feel a little bit behind my left knee, but most of it I feel on that outer thigh.
Okay, you can bend your knee just a little bit because we don't want any pulling behind the knee at all. Okay, come back to center. Grab a strap in each hand. We're gonna lift one more time. So deep breath in. Exhale, lift, chin to shin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rest the head and shoulders. Release the leg. Ooh, put your strap off to the side. You're going to just bend the knees. Do whatever your body feels like it needs right now, whether it's hugging the knees and rocking a little bit left to right, whether it's taking a stretch. Whatever your body's asking for and you like to do right before Shavasana. And then if you do put on any socks or sweatshirts or blankets, you'll roll onto your side to get those. Otherwise, we'll just prepare for Shavasana.
So with your lower back issues before, do you put something under your knees, or did you, for Shavasana, or do you just lay flat?
I used to feel more comfortable when I had something supporting my neck. My low back was not bothered in Shavasana, but I do know that so when you lie flat on your back, does that happen with you?
A little bit. I just find often in Shavasana, if I have something under my knees, I can relax more.
Yeah, that it allows the femur heads to sink deeper in the head.
I'll probably roll a blanket. The bolster's too much, kind of, but.
And are you, because we chatted a little bit in the beginning, are you okay with going over just a couple of minutes?
A couple of minutes is fine, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I typically am very respectful of time, and we usually end exactly on time, but I want to make sure you have your Shavasana.
Okay, and I'm set.
All right, go ahead and take 3 deep breaths.